All right, let's talk about one of the most common and, let's be honest, one of the most annoying check engine light codes you can get, the dreaded P0496. If that code popped up on your scanner, trust me, you are not alone. So let's crack this thing open and figure out what it's all about.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. You're just driving, minding your own business, and then, boom, there it is, that little orange engine symbol, just staring at you from the dash. It's so frustrating, and it immediately makes your mind race, right? Like, is this going to be expensive?
So you do the smart thing. You grab your code reader, you plug it in, and this is what it spits back at you. P0496. This sounds all technical and, kind of scary, but it's actually pointing us to a very specific issue.
And that's exactly what we're here to do. We're going to break down what this code means, walk through the stuff that usually causes it, and give you a super clear step-by-step plan to figure it out yourself. Let's turn that oh no feeling into an okay, I can do this plan.
Okay, so first things first. What is your car actually trying to scream at you with this code? Let's decode the alert itself and talk about the other weird things you might be noticing with your car.
So the official definition is EVAP flow during a non-purge condition. Whoa, that's a mouthful. But here's what it means in plain English. Your car's computer has noticed gasoline fumes getting sucked into the engine when they're not supposed to be. It's kind of like a faucet that's dripping when you've turned it completely off. Something's stuck open.
Now, do any of these sound familiar? Obviously, you've got the check engine light. But are you also noticing a really strong smell of gas around the car? Maybe the engine's idling a little rough, or it even tries to stall when you stop at a light. And here's the big one. You have a really hard time getting the car to start right after you fill it up with gas. If you're nodding your head right now, we are definitely on the right track.
So to really understand the problem, we need to get to know the system that's acting up. So let's talk about the EVAP system for a second, because it's actually a pretty cool bit of engineering.
Probably the easiest way to wrap your head around the EVAP system is to think of it as your car's own personal recycling plant for gas fumes. Instead of just letting those nasty vapors from your gas tank float out into the atmosphere, it captures them. Then it feeds them back into your engine so they can be burned off. Pretty smart, right?
And this shows you exactly how that journey works. Fumes build up in the gas tank and they get trapped and stored in a little box full of charcoal called a canister. Then when the computer decides the time is right, it opens up a part called the purge valve. That lets all those trapped fumes get sucked into the engine to be burned as fuel. Our P0496 code basically means that step number 3 has gone wrong. That purge valve is stuck open when it should be closed.
Okay, now that we've got the theory down, let's start troubleshooting. And we're going to do this the smart way, starting with the absolute easiest and most common fixes first. You might actually be able to solve this whole thing in the next 5 minutes.
I am dead serious. Before you even think about popping the hood, just go check your gas cap. This whole EVAP system is designed to be a completely sealed, pressurized system. If your gas cap is loose, if the little rubber seal is cracked and old, or if it's just not screwed on tight, that can throw the whole system into a panic and trigger this code. So give it a few good clicks and make sure it looks okay.
Now, if your gas cap is on tight and looks good, 90% of the time, this little guy is going to be your problem, the EVAP purge valve. When it comes to a P0496 code, this is public enemy number 1. It's the part that gets stuck open and lets those fumes sneak into the engine when they shouldn't.
And what's really cool is that there's a super simple way you can test this yourself. No special tools required. We'll call it the finger test. First, you got to find the valve under your hood. Just look for a small part with 2 hoses attached to it and 1 electrical wire. Then, with the engine running, carefully pull off the hose that leads towards the engine, and then just stick your finger right over the little port on the valve where the hose was.
So, what are you feeling for? Here's the deal. A healthy working purge valve should be completely closed when the engine is just idling. That means you should feel absolutely nothing. No suction, no vacuum, nada. But if that valve has failed and it's stuck open, you're going to feel a very obvious steady suction on your fingertip. That's it. That's the smoking gun.
So, what's the verdict? Did you feel that vacuum pulling on your finger? If you did, then hey, congratulations. You have almost certainly just diagnosed your own car. That faulty purge valve is your problem, and replacing it should fix the code.
But what if you didn't feel any suction? Okay, no big deal. If the gas cap is tight and the purge valve seems to be working correctly, it just means our investigation has to go a little bit deeper.
Your next move is to just become a detective for a few minutes. Get a flashlight and start tracing all of the plastic and rubber hoses that are part of that EVAP system. You're looking for anything obvious, any big cracks, splits, or maybe a connection that's come loose. Any little leak can cause issues.
Now, if the hoses all look good, we have to consider a few of the less common culprits. It's possible the charcoal canister itself has gone bad, or maybe a different valve called the vent valve is stuck. It could even be a faulty pressure sensor that's just feeding the car's computer bad information. Honestly, testing these parts usually requires special tools, like a smoke machine, so at this point, it might be time to call in a pro.
Okay, let's bring this all home. We've covered a lot of ground, so let's just quickly recap the clear path we've laid out for solving this P0496 puzzle.
I like to think of this as a diagnostic funnel. You always start at the top, the widest part of the funnel, with the absolute easiest thing: check the gas cap. From there, you narrow it down to the most likely problem. Test that purge valve. If you're still stuck, you narrow it down again and look for leaks. And only then do you get to the bottom of the funnel with those less common parts. It's just a logical, step-by-step process.
Look, the whole point here was to take you from that moment of panic when the light comes on to a feeling of confidence because you have a clear, actionable plan. You now get what the code means, you know what system is involved, and you know exactly where to start looking for the fix. That's some powerful knowledge to have.
So I'll just leave you with this question. After going through these steps, what was the culprit hiding in your car? Was it that super simple loose gas cap? Or was it that sneaky little purge valve? Whatever it was, you've now got the tools to find it. Thanks for tuning in.